Good evening. Welcome back to From Day One, Part 2, of course, of today. As always, let's grab the mailbag first, after making sure the music is handled, to see what we've got since the last time we were together. Grand Arena Defense. Alrighty. Alright, I am happy. Thank you for the good eat. Thank you, Skill Master. Alrighty, decent ranking award. 20 gold for the win today. And overall, first place, 200, 150, and 60. We'll hold off on that one till later. We'll definitely take that. And from the promotion rush at the end of part 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 10 emerald packages. Put in our nice happy pockets. Let's get one fight done real quick just to get the energy meter a ticking. Alright, let's do it over in Mortal Wound. While we start that, we will start tonight with a Karen at a Walmart who probably goes the absolute worst way to try to return a purchase.
I'm just asking you, I can. Well, call the cops. Call the cops. This is my First Amendment right. You're recording me, I can record you. Oh, there's cameras all over. Call the cops. You are not supposed to be trying to impede my First Amendment right. Can I please see the policy now? Well, I need to speak to someone that's not afraid of the camera. You guys are recording me. Can you ask them if they're refusing me service, sir?
Apparently this all started when a woman tried to return an item without all the original materials. Now she wants to speak to a manager. Well, it's not going to do any good, and it only gets worse from here. Much worse.
I really need to call the cops. Can you please push Lakewood Police Department so we can find out the number? Hello? Hi?
I'm part of asset protection. We don't have that, so.
Have what?
The product that you're looking for, so.
No, I know, and all I want, no, can I talk, can I speak? Is it ready? Yeah. Please give me space. You're kind of in my bubble, sir.
I'm gonna actually ask you to leave the store.
You can do that.
I'm gonna call Lakewood right now. So. Okay.
That was one of the asset protection people, and he clearly asked her to leave the store and she refused. So today's lesson is going to be public versus private property and what can happen when you refuse to leave a store.
Hi, sir. I'm at the Walmart on 2nd and Wadsworth, and they're calling 911 on me because I'm recording, and I'm asking them a couple questions regarding a return. And all I asked them for is the policy, and they're starting to tell me, you can't record me, they're not serving me or whatever, and I'm not going to be lied on. So they're calling 911, using 911 services for a non-emergency, and I would prefer to stay on the phone with an officer so they can't sit here and lie on me when all I'm doing is recording. And they're using 911 services.
I don't often agree with frauditors, but I think this is a perfect example of misuse of 911. I don't see what the emergency is Of course, they want the lady out of the store, but she's not causing any disruption right now, and I don't think 911 would be the appropriate venue. But be that as it may, let's carry on.
Dave, let me interrupt you there then, because Walmart didn't use 911. They're actually calling the regular non-emergency line. She is lying her ass off to the operator that she's talking to, saying that they're using 911 when they're not. But as you said, let's continue.
Over customer service issue. Yeah, I can, but I don't want to. I deserve customer service. Why? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Are they going to talk to me first? Because if they're not going to talk to me first, I shouldn't have to leave. I didn't do anything wrong, sir. Yeah, you got the heater, right? Sir, he's going where I'm trying to go.
The problem with so many people is that their emotions run high. And once that adrenaline starts to flow, their emotions take over. You have to take a step back and remain calm. The best thing to do is sort this out in a court of law and just forget about it. Walmart is not worth your time and effort. Believe me.
Sir, I'm sitting here trying to get protection, and you're kind of insinuating that I'm breaking laws and doing stuff.
Have a nice day, man. Appreciate you.
I'm not leaving. The officers are coming. Get out of my face. They're not giving me space, sir. They're not giving me space, sir. I'm walking out. I don't need them behind me. I don't need them behind me. Come on, I don't need them behind me, sir. They won't stop talking. I'm not on private. This is public. Are you kidding me right now? Get out of my...
Walmart is definitely not public property, dear. Sam Walton, spitting in his grave, would want to get up and slap you for that.
Face so I can walk away. Come on, Melissa. Shut up, crybaby.
This woman has her knickers in a twist. Just called the man a bloody crybaby? You're the crybaby, sweetheart.
That doesn't help your cause.
First Amendment. First Amendment. Tell them about the First Amendment.
There's an officer right there.
Yeah, I know. Okay, there's an officer here, sir. Bye. Tell them what's going on. What's the emergency? You're not going to kick me out for no reason.
Okay, man, you need to leave.
Yeah,
this is serious building, you need to leave.
This is private property? Can you handle it? Can you handle it?
You need to leave.
Okay, for what? What crime have I committed?
These folks didn't actually ask you to leave.
I have a disability. I've heard them once.
I am in no way harassing anyone who has a disability. That's serious business. But I would like to point out, it seems that all frauditors who believe in the First Amendment have some kind of a disability when the police show up. Just saying.
You don't need to keep telling me.
This is private property.
It's private?
They don't need to leave.
Private property? Why are the doors open? I have a disability, the officer's here. I have a disability, the officer's here. I have a disability, the officer's here. You do not need to get in my face.
This is all over.
You don't need to keep talking to me. The cops are here. What'd you call them for if you're going to continue?
Hey, let's step outside so we can chat, okay?
Okay. But they know about the First Amendment. Get from behind me, sir. Oh, I thought you weren't here. Sorry. Don't worry about. They have us. So shut up.
While the First Amendment does give us unalienable rights here in this country, it does not give you the right to be disorderly. And right now, this woman is becoming disorderly. So I think she may have to take a trip to jail. What do you think?
I went to return the heater. I don't have the box with me, and I got it in Inglewood. And I have the receipt. I pulled out my ID, my card. It went on. I already know the drill, right?
Sure.
I go up there, and they're like, "We don't have the box. We can't return it." I know that's not true because I called the store, right? The store that sold it. It's a Walmart thing. As long as okay, I had the receipt and everything, which fine. They said, "Ma'am, we just can't do it." And I said, "Well, can you please show me the policy?" And she said, "No." I said, "Well, then I'm pulling out my recorder because that's what I do."
Ah, gee whiz. I sure wish we knew the name of this woman's channel. I bet she has some humdinger videos, doesn't she?
Woman Potato Cam Inc., probably. Nah, I'm just joking on that one.
By the way, it seems a bit unreasonable why Wally World won't take back the heater without the box. I wonder what's going on here. Is there more than meets the eye?
Well, the reason why they wouldn't is because without the items, they probably can't go ahead and get the merchant to reimburse them. But still, if it's their policy to return everything in normal condition, then return it in normal condition.
She said, you can't record me. And they called 911 and said I was sitting here disturbing them. They just got offended. I didn't do wrong. And this, sir, come on. This ain't private property. You know that. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay, well.
Why are the doors open if it's private?
Where did you get your law degree?
I know the Constitution.
This is not private. This is private property.
Where does it? Okay, well, can you give me something that says that then? I am a citizen.
Yeah.
A state law that Walmart is a private property.
What we have here is a YouTube law expert. She's watched a few too many videos that were not informative and did not have the correct information. For anyone who's wondering, yes, Walmart and many other retailers are open to the public, but they are privately owned and they reserve the right to ask anyone to leave at any time for no reason at all.
Any
State law.
Any property that's owned by a person or corporation is private property.
And it's a state law that Walmart is a private property?
You need to leave in that back.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're talking about, Mark. That's why. Because I'm cussing?
Listen, we're just listen. Nobody's giving you a ticket. We're just going to give you a paper saying you're trespassing all Walmart from now on.
All Walmart from now? Okay.
Let me have you.
No, sir. Have I committed a crime?
Please, may I have your
What crime have I committed?
trespassing.
Well, Frauditor, right now, you're committing trespassing. If you remain on the property, you will be subject to criminal trespass plus arrest. Oh, let's see what happens next.
How did I trespass if I didn't know I was
Please
trespassing?
asking you to leave.
Yeah, but I'm leaving.
Give me your ID. Let's get your ID first. Please give me your ID.
Can I have disability? Can you hold on?
Yes.
Okay. Was not trespassed when I went in there.
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't trespass.
Okay.
I did not trespass.
Take care of this.
I did not commit a crime. I did not commit a crime. I did not commit a crime.
Angela, let's get your.
I did not commit a crime.
Alright, so we have a Karen mixed with a sovereign citizen. I don't feel this is going to work well for the old Karen citizen here.
Okay.
What?
Oh, yes, you have committed a crime, you triggered snowflake. Your big mouth is the crime. But not to worry. The officers have a nice pair of shiny handcuffs that should fit you perfectly as you take a ride to the city jail.
What crime have I committed? That's not a crime.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Ma'am.
When did I trespass?
You don't give me your identification.
Please get off of me. My daughter, I have a disability. I'm asking questions.
Listen now. It doesn't have anything to do with your disability to give me your driving license. Please.
How did I? Please, I'm asking a question. You guys, I'm your constituent. Can you hold on? I have a disability.
Okay.
Okay?
Listen.
I'm asking.
No, you're
How
supposed to
was
be
I trespassed
providing.
before I even walked in? How? Exactly. And I'm out now.
Yeah, but you went.
I didn't go back in. I did not go back in, sir.
If anyone recognizes this woman's voice, please send me a link to her channel. I have to see some of her work. It's got to be great.
I'll send that to you, Dave. You expect it later tonight.
All right. Are you listening now? Can I talk?
Did I go back in? Did I go back in? Exactly.
Listen to me.
Oh,
Are you listening? Okay, I'm telling you, you were trespassing initially.
I was initially. I'm going. I'm
You were
gonna
told to
leave.
leave.
Okay, I'm listening to you, and I'm trying to leave, but you won't let me. He already did, but when am I leaving? Why won't you let me leave?
They told you to leave.
But when am I leaving?
You will leave as soon as we're
You're
done.
just mad because I cussed when I came out, but how can I leave if you're in my way, threatening me with weapons?
Why is this woman so hostile? Why can't she be more calm? I don't want to make fun of her because perhaps that's her disability. She gets hyper excited. But I would just calm down a bit because arrest is imminent.
Well, I'll save you. No, she doesn't have a quote-unquote disability. And it's because she had multiple other arrests pending, so she didn't want them to find out. But, as you say, the fun thing is just about to happen.
It's
and I'll come there and I'm not.
well, there you have it, folks.
Yep.
We only got
Cups. But unfortunately, as you were just about to say, she cut it off right at the, happy, happy time that we all would really have loved to have on audio. But remember, she thinks Walmart's public. She's an idiot. Enjoy. Alrighty. So, let's go for a court moment instead for next. And I will see you later, Dave. Mike, are you ready? Okay. Dave. Not on my show, please. Thank you. Alright. What do you got for us tonight, Mike? Oh, that judge? That could be interesting. You ain't no Glenn Hurley or Middleton, but still could be quite interesting. Ready to go? All right, now we are. Here we go.
Let's call the case. So the cases of people, state of Michigan versus Donovan Law II.
We're ready in these matters, Your Honor. Lauren Brown, Deputy Chief Public Defender, appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Donovan Law. Rob Down, on behalf of the people.
Right. And this is date and time set for preliminary examination. What are we doing today, Jim?
Your Honor, as you're aware from the last preliminary exam, or PCC day, we tried to get everybody here, and I would have almost been successful due to the fact that I have at least 3 to 4 officers out sick.
I think you're right.
Who cannot appear on Zoom, so we're asking for a quick adjournment.
All right. Any response from the defense?
Your Honor, in this matter, I believe that the court will recall that I had asked for a quick date. The court had indicated that, as the previous APA had said, that there were a lot of witnesses, that the court would be willing to grant an adjournment. I would ask for no adjournment, that we go forward, but I do understand the court's position on this. So
Right.
I'll leave it.
And I did attempt to try to give a quick date. I don't also, the court has to be mindful that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and so there are certain unavailabilities that will occur in that regard. But I will adjourn this preliminary examination. My next date is the 25th of January. January 25th, 2022, 9 a.m. or as your Zoom bite indicates.
All right, this is a quick one. I just wanted to show this. It's only a few minutes. You'll see it all sort of blow up here. But basically, they get a continuance, and of course, that's going to happen. You're set for a hearing. They need a bunch of witnesses between Christmas and New Year's during a pandemic. It ain't happening. That's just the way it is. But that's why one of the things I like about Judge Simpson. One, he's the only one who's providing material. I did a Christmas one for him. Through the holidays, he's just soldiering on. I mean, I'm sure he takes his vacations, but he's there just clearing his docket.
That's with you, Your Honor, right?
Yes, it is before me.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Law, so January 25th, we'll try it again.
So what happened if they don't show up on the 25th? Then what? We just gonna keep adjourning this or what?
Because I'm not getting any federal time. Like, I'm on dead time. The longer I sit here,
Mr. Law, I'll ask that the matter I'll ask that the matter be dismissed. It'll be up to the court to decide whether or not they want to do that. I will ask it. If they're not ready to proceed, I'll ask that they dismiss.
That guy's smooth.
Well, you're welcome. Once again, another happy customer. Thank you, Sergeant. You're very welcome, sir.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor. I'll see you next year.
Satisfied client.
Yes, sir. Take care. Court recalls case of the people versus Chance Atkins.
Okay, so that was just a little preamble. This is the main event. The first one just kind of cracked me up, and you see what he's dealing with there. I mean, he's going to have to grant that continuance, but the defendant's not happy about it. This one is wild. I saw this hearing. I couldn't believe it. You'll see. I don't want to just.
Okay, Mike.
Can you hear it? That's the only thing,
Yes,
because
Mike.
you really have to hear what's going on.
Let's play.
They attempt to. They attempt to put one over on the judge here, and it does not go well.
Okay, Mike.
Counsel, state your appearances, please.
Carol Browner, Assistant Attorney General for the People.
Thank you for your patience. Brown. All right, Mr. Brown, have you had
appearing on behalf of Ms. Atkins.
All right, have you had an opportunity to talk with your client regarding the text message?
Yes, in the breakout room, I read them to him.
And again, I will indicate that when the court initially set the bond in this matter, I was not in possession.
Oh, we have text messages. Okay.
So, is there anything he wants to say regarding this? Because I'm certainly reconsidering his bond in light of this, and Mr. Brown, I will direct your attention. I mean, I don't even get out the first page of this, but the language he uses regarding her, okay, that's his business. But then, since this is indeed a matter regarding child support, he's quitting his job, and you won't get anything. Well, actually, he says won't get shit.
All right, and just in case anybody's having trouble hearing, what's going on here is the judge was going to reduce his bond, but he got in possession of some texts that were bad. This is just an incredibly horrible idea. I always deal with this with my clients. Most get it, but I'm like, if we have a case pending, don't put anything on social media, don't text, don't email, anything that you'd be embarrassed of, because it's discoverable. In the civil context, they can ask for it in discovery, But in this case, it's criminal context, and he sends some inappropriate texts, and the prosecutor gets a hold of him.
When I'll work at Taco Bell, see how you like 50 a week instead. And then, again, he was basically talking about, I'm presuming the child not getting anything. He goes through that. But then the other part that concerns me, there's another part that concerns me where he talks about that he had made over $100,000 last year and spent all the money. Again, this being an issue of not a failure to pay child support. And then he also then makes a statement, which is really, quite frankly, one of the most alarming when one is setting bond, and had I known at the time, we wouldn't even be having a discussion regarding the changing of his bond. He just says at the end, because now you get no child support because I'm leaving.
First of all, thank you, old dog. That I really appreciate it. But if you miss this, he sends a text, and this is it goes to bond. He's supposed to pay child support, but in this text he says I'm leaving, so that makes him a flight risk. It's the dumbest thing possible to put into a savable format for a judge to see. I mean, that's like the prime thing they're worried about. Are you going to return to court? That's the purpose of bond. and then you threaten to
run away,
to disappear in text that the judge can see. It's
dumb. It's
horrible. And the attorney is odd in his approach. You'll see it gets a little testy here. It probably wasn't his best day, but I wouldn't have taken the approach he did with his client. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments.
Oh, Mike, please don't tell me he's going to try to lie and say that these ain't his. Please tell me we're not going there.
So those are the points that cause this court grave concerns regarding this defendant's release.
Your Honor, I shared them with him. He denies making these messages to me.
No, what the fuck are you doing, counselor? These text messages can be extremely easily verifiable. Do you really want to die on this hill, counselor? Oh.
Agreed.
He simply denies it. I tried to check the booking information at the jail.
So, I mean, you see that. They kick it off with he denies he sent the text. That's a bold position. That is a bold position. This can be independently verified. So I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know if he sent the text or not, but I highly suspect he did.
Any of them, the timeline for any of them. And I looked through the file. I noticed that there were 6 payments made in 2020, September 24th, 2020 for $198. July 17th, $198. July 9th, $399.78. June 18th, $399.78. June 3rd, $399.78. And February 20, $399.78. But at some point he was working and then he wasn't, and they took his money. So what I'm getting at is he denies threatening her. Some of this is commentary on the deterioration of their relationship as a couple, and there's bitterness, obviously.
This right here is a horrible argument. It's the least of their problems because it's verifiably false. But the attorney wants...
Yeah, isn't Mike that he's trying to actually do the old cake and eat it too type routine? My client denies that any of these texts are true, but as you can see in the text, it shows that they were not working together. You can't do both.
To take the dual position of he didn't send the text, but the texts are an accurate depiction of the deterioration of the relationship, so give him a break. So he's effectively arguing in the alternative. Both arguments are horrible. I mean, I get it. His client didn't leave him a good spot, but this is not, in my mind, the way to approach it.
Involved, but he's denying that he made these messages. And he has no intent to leave. As I told you this morning, he has 2 jobs lined up.
Thank you, Captain.
And he's got to come up with $1,700 by the timeline you gave him, and then pay $500 a week. So
Mr. Brown, my problem is I have an individual who apparently is very angry that somebody is demanding on behalf of the children of their relationship payment. He has obviously not made payment for some particular reason. It says here, I'm leaving.
And Your Honor, if I may, the child support statute's very clear that the bond should be set at 25% cash only of the arrearage. I understand that this morning the court found good cause to deviate from that, but now looking at these messages and taking everything into account, the payments that Mr. Brown was just stating were from unemployment, which
that's not good for his case.
It gave liberally to everybody during the pandemic. So that's why we got some payments in 2020, not because he was working or making payments. He probably was working under the table because he admitted he made $100,000.
Where did that come from, working under the table? You got proof of that?
Yeah.
Well, he's admitting that he made $100,000, and I don't think that's what his tax.
I haven't seen his text.
Yeah, they got proof of it. He texted it, and the judge has it in his possession. That's what they've got, and you're going to take the position that they didn't make the text when they can go to the cell company or whatever and verify it. They got it from the wife. She has the text, and it makes sense in context. I guarantee. Oh, I just don't know what this attorney's thinking.
Nope,
I haven't either. But he was collecting unemployment when he claims he made $100,000. So, Your Honor, just as you
working
stated,
under the table. You got
Mr. Brown, I didn't interrupt you, sir.
I didn't hear you.
I did not interrupt you when you were speaking. So, Your Honor, the victim does indicate a history of family violence, which, we can take for what it's worth, but looking at the way he does speak to her, the fact that he says he's leaving, the fact that he hasn't been making payments, and the fact that the statute specifically states it should be set at 25% cash only, I'd ask that you place the bond pursuant to the statute at 25%. He owes just over $18,000 at this point, so it should be $4,500 cash only.
Well, hold it. The amount's gone up from the complaint.
It's gone up because he's continued to not pay. He has a monthly obligation of $662 a month. So as of today, it's $18,219.36.
18,219.36.
Yes, remember the 36 cents, Your Honor.
Correct.
Your Honor.
Well, hold on a moment. So this complaint.
Did you see the text, Your Honor, where he says he has $2,000 and a job lined up and she better, help him get this worked out?
I did.
Okay. All right.
I didn't send a text. I wasn't able to. I was in. Your Honor. I did not send these text messages. If I'm given a chance, I will do exactly what I said. I want to make things right. I can't do anything from in here, and I want to make things right. I love my children. And I will do exactly
here's the problem.
what I promised you, sir.
When the
I will do exactly what I agreed to when I promised, sir. I did not send those text messages. I can download the PDF file of T-Mobile, and I can make it look like any number or any text message.
Another horrible argument.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I have such a criminal bent to my mind that I can tell you how to create fraudulent documents regarding text. Not impressive to a judge. Judge Simpson is not having any of it.
And we're talking about a message from a year ago, sir.
What you want to do, if you want to have a hearing on it, I'll have a hearing on it.
No, I just
asking for the explanation, but I think the prosecutor's right. I deviated from that. Gave you a way to work and was hoping that what would happen is that the 43 that we had before, not the 45, but the 43.
Sir, give me a chance. Just give me a chance.
You just want to interrupt me? If you want to interrupt me, I'm going to let you go. Because then I'm going to have my say. No, go ahead, please. I want you to say everything you got to say. Go ahead. You keep interrupting me. Say what you have to say, and then I will say what I have to say.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. No, sir. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, wait. You decide. If you want to say something, say something.
This is not good.
I promise I'll do what you asked me earlier. That's all I wanted to say, sir. Just give me a chance, and I will pay this money back on the timeline we agreed. That's all I want to say, sir.
Okay, then shut up. You gonna shut up?
I promise you.
No, I guess you're not. Are you now gonna shut up?
Madam AG, those payments that were made in 2021, those were taken right out of his support because that was done before he would even get hands on it. Those weren't voluntary payments.
That's correct, Your Honor. They were taken from his unemployment. They were garnished from his unemployment.
Okay, so the payments he did make are taken out, and he has no choice about it. So he applied for unemployment fraudulently because he's working under the table.
Allegedly.
if you're to believe his texts. And he says he made $100,000 a year. I don't believe anything he says, but if you were to believe his text, he made $100,000 a year, yet is taking unemployment. Since the unemployment, there's probably a lien or a garnishment. Well, they said it's garnished, so there's a garnishment on there. So those are the only payments he makes. Is he doesn't cut a check, he gets it deducted from what he receives.
I mean, I think the problem here is that when I look at these these messages, and he's claiming that they're not, that she's making them up. I don't know why. Including the one about the broken arm, you're telling me she's made that one up too?
Me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. You're telling me these are made up.
Sir, I've never even got that message. I don't even know about the message.
Okay, sir. Let me ask you this. Are you telling this court, Mr. Brown has read you the messages, so he's indicated that. Are you telling me that you never sent these?
I'm telling you, I never sent those messages, sir.
Right, here's what I'm going to do. Because, and Mr. Brown will tell you, the one thing that you don't want to do with me, ever, is lie to me. Ever. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you that.
Thanks, Simon. I get the distinct feeling Judge Simpson doesn't believe this guy.
The victim had emailed us, Your Honor, and indicated she also got a voicemail from the jail from the defendant.
Oh, we got that?
She wasn't able to send us, but just to make you aware, he had also called her.
I think that was before no contact.
Was she intimating that there were threats of any type or anything said?
She didn't say that. She said she sent us all these screenshots, and she said, and if you'd like to listen to the voicemail from the jail, I can send you a link, and you can put in the digits of my phone number, and you can listen to it. She said you can call me if you have any questions. So she did give us a phone number if you have questions for her.
Sounds legit.
I don't know if there's any lingering questions for you, Your Honor. I just thought I'd provide you all the information I got.
I got you. Thank you.
The night that I was booked in, Your Honor, I did make a phone call, and I did call her to let her know that I was waiting for my 2 stimulus checks, my second and my third to come in. Then I would sign those over to her if we could work something out.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you telling me you just kind of said it that way? Because I can get the recording.
No.
So I just want to make sure what you're telling me.
I don't understand.
Did you threaten her in any way? Did you say anything?
No, not at all, sir. No,
so you said what you said just as calmly as what you said to me just now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just told her I had my 2 stimulus checks, and then I just got a job, a $30,000 job in Saline to renovate an old Victorian house. Please do not leave me in here. Please, let's work something out. Sir, I just want to make things right. I'm not trying to dodge or duck. Just give me a chance to make things right, and I will. My hand to God on my children, on everything. I just got things going. I can do this. I can make everything right.
No, you
can't. I can't do it from in here. I'm just asking you to give me a shot to prove myself. I will not let the court down or my children down. Believe me, they told me about you. When you said you will send people to come get you, the jailers here told me. Judge Simpson don't play. So just give me a chance, sir.
Mike, I think there's your thumbnail.
That's right. Judge Simpson don't play. I think that's going to be my thumbnail for this. Let me know what you think. Thank you all, Doug. I saw your comment. It took me like a minute to catch up to it. The guy's name is Chance. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it does work out that way.
All of it was coming out of I'm like a union carpenter. Okay? I did 4 years in school, got my journeyman's license. Just please let me prove myself. That's all I ask, and give me a shot. Monitor me as close as you need to. I'll do whatever you need to. I just want to get on with my life and pay this down. That's all I want to do. I just need someone to hear me.
Yeah, for child support, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. You want somebody to hear you.
Thank you.
They'll hear you at some point, and I'll listen to you. It'll be probably a little bit better than your kids had to listen when they had to do without at some point. That being neither here nor there. What I will indicate is, however, court, after viewing this, after hearing from the defendant, I'm reversing my decision. I don't see a reason at this point to depart from the 25% threshold and give the defendant the opportunity that I was under the impression that, and a misimpression, quite frankly, of what he would do and what he could do. Because I will say this also, and I'm glad the Madam AG is here to clarify how those payments were made, because those payments were not voluntary payments. They made it sound this morning as though there were voluntary payments, and it was basically all he could do at the moment. They weren't voluntary payments. They came out of checks. Here he goes, interrupting me again.
Yes, Your Honor, he is.
The bond amount will be reset at the $44,223 cash only payment. That payment will be made on to the front of the court on case number 2016001677EN. That will be the defendant's bond. Is the previous PR bond that I had issued this morning, and the mechanism for doing that is canceled.
That is interesting. Thank you, Cerebral Tackle. That, yeah, the recording, when the judge tells me I can get the recording, he really backed down. That was pretty funny. But right here, even with this, the judge is like sort of tough, like he doesn't want to be lied to and all that stuff. But still, if you want to put this in context, he's not throwing the book at him. What he did is he tried to give him a break and deviate from the statutory norm, which is 25% of the back. And it sounds like he had done that morning, but when this came to his attention, he rescinded that, and then it's just back to the norm, the statutory. He isn't like doing something extra or bad to him. I mean, he could hold him in contempt for this. That might be coming down the road. I doubt that hearing proceeds, because they'll have the goods on that. And if that attorney has any sense, they'll say, we don't want to go forward with this. You're going to perjure yourself or get in more trouble. Just take your,
penalty.
Take whatever the judge is going to do. We don't want a hearing on these texts.
The no contact that I issued this morning will remain in effect.
That's interesting.
And I will indicate, since the defendant is disputing these, and I'm making it based upon what is now before me, I set his preliminary examination for January 13th, 2022 at 9 a.m. I will also at that time set a bond hearing if he wishes to have a bond hearing regarding the authenticity of these text messages, as well as we can examine his phone call to her in jail if necessary.
Not good for her.
Kathy, yeah, that is interesting. I have been meaning to, but I haven't gotten to Michael McDonald. I was considering doing that, but it's such a mess. The videos are so long. But yeah, I might just do like a couple long live streams about Michael McDonald. I know Natalie Lawyer Chick did, and I'm sure she did a good job of it. But I'll take a look at that.
If you decide to, Mike, let me know.
Thank you. I also with the interesting thing with Cedric, you can see with Cedric Simpson here is like I said, he doesn't throw the book at him, but he does set this down for another bond hearing and hearing on the text. And like I said, they should run away from that. Just withdraw that whole line of argument and be done. You don't want to proceed the hearing on that. When I got this video, it's interesting. This court, and I put a link to it. They actually leave the comments open. And in fact, all the comments were about his collar. He's got this cool collar. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't fold down. It almost looks like a priest kind of a thing. Which
you're talking about the judge.
With, the judge robe, but that's where they left it. I mean, he was going to give him a break, and he took that back. He still hasn't done anything mean to him. It looks like it, but he hasn't.
It's the court's decision at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so that takes care of that. Do you got an auditor for me, Mike, so we can finish off? Oh, you do? Perfect. Who do you got? Oh, him? Yes, let's go.
Sean Paul Reyes.
Okay, so that's Sean Paul Reyes in the top left, at least on my screen. I guess that's Long Island Audit. I did not know him by his personal name, but he has to log in and use his real name. So I'm presuming that's Long Island.
That is Long Island, Mike.
Present, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you have a disorderly conduct. Did you have an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Are you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, how much do you make a month?
Your Honor, I will be proceeding pro se in this matter.
I actually like that. It's a bad decision to proceed pro se, but he knows what the judge is doing. She's about to ask him questions to see if she can, if he's indigent, so she can appoint him counsel. He says, no, I don't want to do that. And if you already know you want to go pro se, that's a wise play. Just tell the judge right there, and let's get to the case.
And Your Honor, I do have the state will be asking seeking leave for a couple of requests in your addressing his counsel now.
He says he's going to proceed pro se.
Your Honor, if I may say something to the court.
Hold on, the state. I acknowledge you're proceeding pro se. State.
I didn't know. I was waiting to see if you were going to give a pro se admonishment. The state would like to seek leave to request the special condition of bail due to the occupation of the defendant. The defendant has a YouTube account, and some of his supporters, followers, the state is not aware of the nature of the relationship with these people, but the complainant witness has been harassed through third-party communication and electronic communication, consistently including threats on behalf of their defense, the defendant. So the state would like to request a stop, including specifically not in reference to her home, but no electronic communication and no third-party communication from anyone that may be zealously defending the defendant by threatening the witness.
That is completely overbroad. I can't believe that the state just asked for that. The judge, and they go back and forth and they narrow it down. And I don't know if she just meant that, but she's seeking something from third parties. So what? You want an order saying that nobody, none of his viewers can say this? He doesn't have control over it. That seems a bit too much, but it does get narrowed down in scope and to something that I think is reasonable as we proceed.
Your Honor, if I may.
You're asking for special conditions of bond and that no third party contact the complainant with. No electronic communication, no third party communication. That's it. I'm not requiring, like the home or anything of that nature. Just specifically the electronic communication and no third party communication. That he not have a third party contact the complainant with. Yes, in no way is the state making allegations that no. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly you're asking. You're asking that a special condition of bond that indicates that he not have a third party contact the complaining witness and electronic communication. Contact the complaining witness via electronic or any type of communication, correct? Via electronic, third party, or any type of communication.
Okay, so now we've narrowed it down to him. I think it was just sort of awkward in the beginning because, I mean, the judge doesn't even have the power to order. She can't. It's like a temporary restraining order on unknown viewers of his. You can't do that. You can only limit it. The bond condition is going to apply to the defendant and nobody else. So I guess they can say you don't have third-party communication or encourage it. That to me is semi-reasonable.
Go ahead, Mr.
Your Honor, I have not had any third party or other communications with the complainant.
My question to you is, what's your position on her request for special?
I object, Your Honor.
Okay. Over your objection,
you're an idiot.
And that you not have any third party contact the complaining witness in any form, be it electronic, mail, anyway.
Yep.
I generically object. I'm going to get it done there. I object. This is vague and ill-defined would be a good place to start. What exactly do you mean by this? And then she would either clarify or agree with you. But
the problem is, someone going pro se, Mike, doesn't know this. This is why you shouldn't be going pro se.
Object on general principles. All right. She paused a heartbeat and then said, all right, over your objection, I'm granting the condition.
Your Honor,
I am going to grant that request.
Okay, Your Honor. I would just like some clarity, Your Honor.
Okay, two people cannot talk at once.
I understand.
So I hadn't even finished saying I was granting the request before everybody else started talking. Granting the request. Now, Mr. Reyes, you were about to say something.
Yes, I would just like clarification on because the state is referring to people that I don't know.
No, the state did not refer to any.
Well, that's what they used their basis for the order.
Special conditions. This is why you need an attorney. Because they know the procedures and they know what a special condition of bond is. An attorney would know exactly what she's talking about. They did not give me any allegations. They did not allege anything on the record. They just asked for a special condition of bond.
They made allegations as far as
They did not make allegations to me, sir.
Okay.
They asked, I granted.
But Your Honor, they did make allegations of threats. I would just like for the record to show that they did make allegations that I could be possibly through a third party contact threats, and I take that seriously, Your Honor.
No, they said that the complaining witness has been receiving threats.
Okay, Your Honor.
Yeah, I actually get where he's coming from, and he's saying I don't appreciate the insinuation that I'm doing this because I'm not, and he may not be, but it's the wrong way to go. You say what you want to do is clarify what are we doing going forward because this order doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's a fair thing to say.
All right, I'm granting the special condition. So what that means is you cannot have anybody, and I'm not saying you have done it, I'm just saying for future reference, you cannot have anybody contact this complaining witness through any form of communication. Anything that you say that could be misinterpreted or looked at as if you're asking someone to do it is what I'm saying you can't do. All right? This is for the future.
Understood.
So basically, do not go on YouTube to your channel going, hey, you guys, wink, 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 you shouldn't be doing this, wink, 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 but here's the number, wink, wink, wink. Something like that.
Now, State, you have something to say? Yes, Your Honor, I just wanted to acknowledge that the complainant witness group, Sophia, Salvo, I'm pretty sure I'm tearing up her name, Dash Green is in court. And if the, and the state requests that the witness be excused from court for all matters until it is deemed necessary by the state. Okay, Mr. Reyes?
Your Honor, I have no objection on that. I would just ask the court to, on this misdemeanor complaint.
No. The only question before you is your position on the complainant witness being excused.
I object.
Okay, you object?
Correct.
What are the basis of your objection?
I have the right to face my accuser, Your Honor. She's the complainant witness.
That's at trial.
Yeah, the Judge Point is saying right there, it's at trial, and he does. He's absolutely correct on that. And honestly, I don't blame him for objecting at this point, but he looked silly after he just said no objection 10 seconds ago. But the state said the state intends to call them at trial. They have to make the case. But he doesn't know that. And what the state requested is the witness be excused unless the state deems necessary. And I think that's sort of too broad a request. I know what they mean by it. They mean that they don't have to show up until trial, and they have to have him at trial. They can't make the case. But he wants clarification on that, and he is correct. There's constitutional right to confront your accusers.
Trial, that is at trial. You do have the right to face your accuser at trial. This is not trial. This is status getting ready for trial. So, on that basis, I will grant the state's request that the complaining witness is excused until trial. Now, you were about to say something else, Mr. Reyes?
Your Honor, I was arrested on this misdemeanor complaint. The complaint is Ruth Ciaba Green for disorderly conduct. I was originally arrested for felony eavesdropping. That was what I was originally arrested for.
I cut a lot of this stuff out. He does a preamble, and again, I'll put a link to his video in the description below. Go ahead and look at it. He does some pre-work and some stuff that I can't tell if it's related to this appearance or not, and more stuff afterwards. And go ahead and take a look at it. But he goes on and on about how he was arrested for eavesdropping, but then they changed it to disorderly conduct. I gotta tell you, it's a non-starter. You're arrested for some of that conduct. They can change the charge. They observed what they observed. Yeah, they could charge you with one thing, take it to the prosecutor, then the prosecutor said, "No, I don't like this. We're going to charge it under a different code provision." As long as we have the conduct, does it meet elements of certain offenses? They amend charges all the time, but he doesn't know these sorts of things.
720 ILCS. That was the original complaint against me, but for some reason it was changed to a disorderly conduct. I'm asking the court to find probable cause on this complaint.
All right, so let me stop you here. You don't.
Judge explains it to him here, but that is fantastic. He's asking the court to find probable cause against him. What he means to say is, I dispute this. I want to file a motion to dismiss. This case is nonsense, although this isn't the right moment for it. But when he says, I want you to find probable cause, he thinks he's saying that.
Once the court, first of all, this is a misdemeanor, so that's not appropriate avenue on a misdemeanor. That's appropriate avenue on a felony. Okay, number one. Number two, you would not want the court to find any probable cause, because that means that they're saying that there's evidence or possible evidence that you committed a crime. So you never want the court to find probable cause against you. But if you had an attorney, he would explain that to you, and you would know that he was just asking for something that was not in your best interest.
Yep.
Well, I believe that there's no probable cause.
I understand what you believe, but I'm telling you what the reality is. Now, I am not granting that. This is not the appropriate avenue for that request. What else do you have?
I have nothing else, Your Honor. I'll be filing a motion to dismiss.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay,
now,
just file it.
The issue of discovery. You're going to have to receive discovery, but I do need to admonish you about proceeding without an attorney. And I don't have my book with me. All right.
Now, what she's referring to is there's a set of rules that they have to read for anybody who wants to follow pro se.
But if I may, Your Honor, interject my concern about not doing admonishments today, the next part of I think is going to be discovery, and I'm hesitant about I have to go ahead and get communication. Okay. So I'm hesitant of even doing anything without him having those admonishments because I have to communicate with the defendant directly. Okay. We will pass it, and I will go get my book, and I will admonish him about proceeding without attorney. So
That made a lot of sense. She just wanted to skip the admonishments because she didn't have them on hand, and she was going to read them to him, but she just didn't have them. The prosecutor says, "Hey, we're about to start discovery, and if he's not admonished, then he's going to maybe gum up the works with that and say I wasn't admonished, I didn't know this, that, or the other thing." So, to the judge's credit, she says, "You know what? I'll pass it and find the admonishments and do it. You're right, prosecutor."
we'll pass it. Thank you. All right. Court is back in session. Recalling the case of Sean Paul Reyes. All right. Do I have my court reporter? Do I have my state? Are you back? Oh, Your Honor, Assistant District Attorney Mariella, there's been an audio report conversation between City Hall employees and Bourbon residents without their consent after being verbally advised to stop recording, along with advising that there were signs posted throughout the City Hall saying that recording is not allowed and that such recording alarmed the City Hall employees. Do you understand the nature of that allegation?
I understand the allegation as written. I don't understand how it applies to the law, but okay.
All right. So this is a Class A misdemeanor, and you can be sentenced up to 1 to 364 days in Cook County Jail.
Okay, so she's going through admonishments, and he wants to represent himself. So that little dig, and I don't understand how it applies to law. I get it. You think that it's a bad charge, and maybe you're right. Maybe you have the merits on your side. But that's the wrong thing to say if you want to proceed pro se, which is what he wants to do. Because you're saying I don't understand how the law applies. The judge doesn't do it here, but you're giving her an opening to flip and say, I think we need to assign counsel because you just said you don't understand.
Up to $2,500 or substitute jail and fine. You understand that?
That's correct.
So now you know the possible penalty.
It's yes or no, buddy. Yes or no question. That's correct. Is non-responsive. She lets it go, but I wouldn't.
See the issue?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you know that you have the absolute right to represent yourself, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if you're unable to afford an attorney, I can appoint a public defender to represent you. You understand that?
I do understand that.
Right? And you still wish to proceed or to represent yourself?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. You have been advised of the pro se rights. State?
I will have a question, Your Honor.
Okay. So understand, I can't answer any legal questions for you. So you get no help from me whatsoever legally. So if it's a question you ask and it's a legal question, I'm going to advise you that I cannot answer that. You need representation. All right?
Okay.
So just when I say that, when you ask me questions, or if you ask me questions, that's why I'm saying that. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead. What's your question, Mr. Ray?
My question would be, as I'm not familiar with the Cook County system, I would just ask: is there a way to file a motion electronically in your courtroom as it is closed due to coronavirus?
So.
Well, if you knew what you were doing, you would know the answer to that question or figure it out. And yes, it's procedural. Maybe she could point the way, but
no, don't
you're just
point the way.
displaying that you know nothing there. I don't ask judges how to file motions in this long time. And you know what? The procedures change, and I have to figure it out. I would call in this circumstance, I would call the clerk of the circuit court and say, hey, how do you, or email or go on their website and say, what's the procedure now because I can't walk in and file. This isn't free law advice from the judge time. A lot of times a judge might answer a question like this, but she is not going to do it. And she isn't mean, but they really shouldn't have to. And she just admonished them, and it's really annoying.
That's something that an attorney would know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll figure it out. Don't you worry about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Is that by agreement, Mr. Reyes? January 26th. What status of discovery you're going to receive from the state?
If you would allow me to check my calendar really quick, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. January 26th is fine.
All right, guys. So you just watched my first court appearance in Berwyn, Illinois. I want to make this crystal clear. I am not, I have not, and I will not ever instruct anyone or ask anyone to contact the Berwyn City Administrator, Ruth Siaba Green, on my behalf.
That right there is arguably a violation of his bond condition, just as the judge stated. She said if anything you say that could be interpreted that way. On its face, he's saying don't do it. But a lot of people might take that as an indication to do it, and the reason why is because he names her specifically and gives it in the video. And I don't think that'll become an issue, but it's a poor idea. It's a poor idea. It's certainly arguably a violation of his bond condition.
Extremely poor
right
idea,
now.
Mike.
If I was prosecuting it, I would not follow that. I'm being honest, but it's not a good thing to do based on the court appearance he had today. I don't know if he's done anything or encouraged any of that stuff. He says he hasn't. I'll take him at his word. I mean, I just don't know those facts.
I won't take him at his word.
And I just wanted to give a little bit more here for his side of it, and here he looks sincere in really saying that he does not want that.
We all know the reason for those special bail conditions that were put on, prohibiting third-party contact. There was never any third-party contact, and there never will be. But they put those conditions on me to try and scare me into being silent, and to scare.
And again, that's just silly. There was never any contact, and there never will be. You don't know the future, number one. Also, I highly suspect that there was prior contact, and that the prosecutor probably has possession of it. So it's very likely that somebody contacted and said something inappropriate, or I mean, I don't know. I don't have the evidence, but he certainly doesn't know, and he's just making this blanket statement. It's never happened before. It'll never happen again. It won't happen in the future. You can say I didn't encourage it. That's fine. You can say that, but you don't know if that happened. I'll bet it did.
Scare all of you into being silent. They want to silence us, and I will not allow it. Not now, not ever. If her threat claims are to be believed, I want to publicly condemn those who would make such threats.
Okay, so that's good. He's saying I would publicly condemn it, and he seems, my guess is he's sincere there as he says that, so he's really not encouraging that, but although I don't know. But the statement also sort of contradicts his prior thing that it never happened before. He said, well, this never happened before, and it will never happen in the future. But if it did happen, I condemn it. It's not a good. Well, there you have it. I thought that was absolutely.
Alrighty, so that takes that. I will leave you to finish your show yourself, Mike. Thank you for being with us. Alrighty, so we'll finish this last fight up, and then we will call a close to part 2 for today. Okay, next, there's only one screen left. Let's move on over. Come on. Bring out the fight. There they are. Get them together. There you go. Alrighty. So that concludes with no prize. Part 2, of course, be with us for an Art Bell interview starting in the part 3 tonight. Until then, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. Get us to those goals for both Boxy and Extras, which is 5,000 views and 1,000 subscribers for YouTube, so they can start sending us items so we can send them to you. And until then, until we meet in the overnight, of course, it's always a great new world to release the Krakens. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for joining us from day one.